Hello everybody, it's Good Friday and I'm in the centre of Sunderland. This area is part of what was Bishopwearmouth. This particular spot here is where the old High Street burial ground was. Bodies were taken away, I think it was late 80s, when the dual carriageway was put in. But that's the site. Now bear that in mind, because we're off to visit another one of Sunderland's forgotten burial grounds, which is underneath this particular building. I'll just move around to you where it's a little bit quieter. I meant to get up early, but I had a bit of a lie-in, so it's a little bit busier than I hoped for. Just to give you some idea where we are. There's the bar at Greens. At the moment, the building we're going to visit is actually disused. It was Bobby's Bar, but that's since closed down. And we're just going to head to 34 Low Row. Some of you might have been there over the years when it's been a bar. So back in 1823 through to 1840, a crypt was in use on that site of where Bobby's Bar is, and later a national school was built on top of it. So there is Sunderland Minster, once Bishopwearmouth Parish Church, and here we are on Low Row. There's the old churchyard wall. Quite impressive, isn't it? Just shows you how packed with burials this place was. Right. So here's the spot. It was written in 1845 about this place. I've got this on my phone. The committee are informed that on these vaults being opened, the fluvium which escaped is most offensive and dangerous, so much so that some of the medical gentlemen attending funerals take the precaution of not entering the vault and even remain at some distance from the interment. So there is a crypt underneath here. It was discovered in 1998 when this was being converted into the Bar Baroque, which you might remember. 10 vaults were found in the crypt. It was believed there was another 2 further in which they couldn't actually get to. And inside there, 25 coffins were discovered. They had nameplates on, so we know who they are. I've got some of the names here on my phone. There was a G. Lockwood, an S.A. Davison, he died 1823, J. Wright, Alexander Milnes, James Robinson and Samuel Wilde. So this was more the middle class of the town, so it was only in use for about 17 years. You alright? So I'm just doing a video about the history of the place. You're not working there on your own, are you?
No, it's a couple of us.
All right. Yeah, see, it's been converted into something at the moment. I've seen like letting agents go past. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go up to the churchyard and look across, because it might be a little bit quieter. People still, I know it's Good Friday, but some people will be off to work and so on. But I'll give you. There's the old Lambton Worm Wetherspoons, now a fancy Indian restaurant. So this is Low Row, and as you can see, it's changed quite a bit over the years. Even if you look at old pictures from the 50s, then you go back to the early 1900s, the church has changed many times. So going back to the crypt was built, then later the school was built on top of it. So those poor kids in the summer, on a hot day, they bring the coffin down underneath and put it away, and obviously everybody would stand back because the smell would escape. But there's a reference to, there it is, in 1988, to facilitate building Sunderland's inner ring road. Human remains buried between 1806 and 1851 in High Street churchyard were removed and reinterred in a cemetery at Bishopwearmouth. Now there was only, I think, a couple of hundred remains ever in that, taken away from that particular site. It wasn't. Now, out of all the Sunderland burial grounds, High Street, it had other rooms, like it was called Low Row Burial Ground, is probably the one which has got the least information about. I couldn't give you the name of probably one person who is buried in there. I don't think it was used a great deal, possibly because it the potential for flooding, and it was surrounded by houses. So the Gill Cemetery came along in 1839, and that was used as more than that. But Sunderland Minster. Morning, you alright? It is Kathy, isn't it? Yeah. I think that lady has an interest in history as well. So you get much better view up here. It's a bit quiet, we're not going to bump into anybody up here. So there's the building. In 1913 it was turned into a parish hall for this particular church, and I think before it was a bar in the 1990s it might have been some like carpet, or somebody mentioned when they posted about this before, like something to do with sewing or fabrics and stuff like that. So now the surprising thing is, when they converted it into a bar in 1998, they left all the coffins there, the bodies were left in peace, and the vaults were sealed up. So I was speaking to, I think it must be the owner, a couple of weeks ago when I walked past, and he said he'd never been down there, and it's all blocked off now anyway. So those 25, possibly more, will probably stay there for a few more 100 years, undisturbed. Then you never know, because Sunderland's changing so much at the moment. So what happened was, around the 1840s, 1850s, the idea of burying people in crypts in Sunderland was seen as not very hygienic. And then obviously that came in along the time with all the churchyards was effectively closed down, with the opening of Knowles, Bishopwearmouth and Sunderland cemeteries, which were like around 1856 and so on. So the one at Bethel Chapel, there was over 400, I think 404 people were buried there in back around the same period as this, and all of those names you can find and so on. So there's Greens. Now when I came in here and did a video one morning a few weeks ago, there was loads of rats in here. I think there was about 5 or 6. But I've never seen rats in here ever before. I don't know if it's because they closed the bushes down. See if we can see them. We're mainly around this part here. If you are watching this, if you could do me a favour, if you want to click on the subscribe, it'll help grow the channel. So a lot of the headstones most of the headstones were taken down and placed into this particular path around the outside, but it's not all of them. When you see the old pictures, there was hundreds of them. There isn't hundreds in the paving stones. The ones which are kept would have been the ones which were in the best condition at the time. And I've always thought this block of headstones and that one over there, they don't look natural in the sense that they look like they've been placed there. See that? Right. This is where the rats ran into the other week. So I'm just going to walk around here, finish the video. Oh, I mentioned it to the church when I saw them, and as you can see, loads of rat boxes. Also, some of the headstones which are around this path, I believe, were actually inside the church at one point, but it's been changed so many times and enlarged for that. I'm trying to think if there was any other vaults in Sunderland. There was the Bethel Chapel and Villiers Street, the Crypt here, and the only other ones were across at the Gill Cemetery, which is just a walking distance from here, but they're deep underground now. They weren't demolished, they were just bricked up because children were breaking into them and people were trying to steal the lead in the first half of the 20th century. But where the car park over there is, between that and the Iron Infirmary, that's where the Gill Cemetery is. So Just want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Morning. Oh, Mr. Howson. I'm just live. You don't mind being on, do you?
What?
I'm just live. I'm not live. I'm just recording. How are you, fella?
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
Coming up.
Where's that?
We get Tunstall Hill to walk.
Oh, is that where you? I thought I saw a cafe there.
What?
I'm going off to Greg's for my breakfast. I've got a dodgy back, haven't I?
It's the big event. It's so
I know.
good. Have you ever been up there?
Yeah, so I went up the other week. I went up Rocky Hill.
No, but I mean, when there's 1,000 people putting the cross up,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's a huge Sunderland event.
Oh, yeah.
You should do it. Are you working today?
No, I'm just going to get Corin in a couple of hours' time. Just
So I mean, you've got a car.
Yes, it is working again now.
We meet at the car park at about 10:15, and then walk up to the top.
Right.
So you've got something
Yeah.
to do. We're walking up because of traditions.
Yes.
Like that.
That's a friend of mine, Mr. Chris Howson, local Sunderland history expert and man of all trades there. So I said I'd get you on the video one day, didn't I?
You get me on.
So thanks, that's Chris. That's just a bit of advertisement there. There's a walk up to Tunstall Hill today. I might go up later and take a video of the cross. So anyway, I'm going to end that video. So thank you very much. See you next time.